the Crisis Report. It is May 21st, 2025, and this one is entitled Israel Will Strike Iran. And I think we are kind of getting to that point. The back and forth, the we will, we won't, we will, we won't, kind of is falling on deaf ears now. And now I think with all the external pressure and everything else, we're just to the point where I think we're pretty close to some kind of action happening. Israel is definitely feeling isolated right now, and so I feel they have nothing to lose. I was thinking about this the other day too. Like, what people neglect to remember is Israel, they have a thing called the Samson option. And if they feel like everybody is coming down on them, they will bring the halls of the temple down. Now, I'm not saying that with any kind of joy, pleasure, or glee. I'm just reminding everybody that they really don't care about what other people think and their standing in the world and all that. They just, in their mind, they have been in an existential crisis. They've been challenged, and the people they're going against have a lot of backing and a lot of, just power on their side. And Israel, fears that it is going to be taken out, and possibly by multiple nations, even to the point where, Europe, Britain, and France, and a bunch of those, they're adding external pressures. They don't feel any love there. A report has come out tonight that Trump is, saying he's not on their side either right now. And I don't know if I believe that or not. Maybe it's just something they allowed to leak out to try to provide pressure to make the Israelis, stop their Gideon's chariots and everything going on. But fact of the matter is that things are progressing to a point where there's going to be no return. And I don't think Israel really cares what anybody else thinks. And again, it's just what I think. So it's going to be interesting to see where we go from all of this. But what I do know is that there is war, and it's going to get worse, and things are going to get worse. There's a lot of bad news out there. A lot of people are saying, it's not that bad right now, but it is. It's pretty bad. Reports coming out that Nike is going to be raising a lot of their prices, and, just a lot of things changing and for the negative. So we're going to cover it all here on the Crisis Report. And I gotta tell you, I can show you a chart and a graph right now. I get 90 new eyes, 90 new views on every one of these videos. So I need your help. That's the only way to put it. I can't do it. And they have done what they have done to this channel. Good news is I've been here before, so it's not, anything new, but there's only so much I can do. I can't come here when I've got family time and all that and post at a better time. So I come about 10:30, 11:15. And let's just say that when you look at the numbers and everything, the platform is doing everything it can to take me out, just to stop this whole broadcast. And I got to admit, there's a part of me that's like, you know what, screw it. Let's go over to Rumble. Let's go over to X. Let's go somewhere else. And what stops me is knowing the fact that if I do that, they win. And I don't want that. So, if I get 90 views here, I get 90 views from other new eyes. But 90 views a day. That's what I get on my videos. So anything you can do to help me out, tell other people about it. Everything else has gone up. Every other single metric that I have has gone up as it pertains to the Crisis Report. Numbers are going up on SUBSTACK. Everything is going up. So I know I'm doing things right. So, All right. All right. 5 minutes in. Let's get started. Thank you very much. I look forward to the jackass troll who will put something about me pissing and moaning for 5 minutes. Let's get started. And this is your crisis report for May 21st, 2025. And please do troll so I can find you and hide you from the channel. Israel continues to prepare for strikes on Iran. U.S. has obtained new intelligence suggesting that Israel is making preparations to strike Iranian nuclear facilities. President Trump announced that he will begin constructing an American Iron Dome. Once fully constructed, the Golden Dome will be capable of intercepting missiles even if they're launched from other sides of the world, even if they're launched from space. One of the problems is the original Israeli Iron Dome failed against a big barrage of cheap missiles and was totally ineffective against drones. Hegseth touts the Golden Dome as a protection against cruise, ballistic, and hypersonic missiles, not to mention drones. Nothing is perfect, and nothing's going to stop everything. Whoa. That was weird. Just rando ad block. U.S. is also preparing to help Israel to attack Iran. There's a lot of these posts tonight. That's why this is entitled, Israel is going to take out Iran, because I just believe it's going to happen. U.S. is stepping up intelligence collection to be prepared to insist if Israeli leaders decide to strike, one senior U.S. official told CNN. So Israel is the one deciding how it is going to be, according to Megatron, who is not a fan of Israel. Ukrainian oppositionist and Zelensky critic was brutally killed in Madrid. Ex-advisor to Yankovic Portnov was shot dead near Madrid at the gates of an American school in front of students. The EU has now given Zelensky a green light to eliminate the opposition across Europe. Israeli military fired on delegates from Europe. Foreign delegation in Jenin, West Bank, included officials from the UK, France, Netherlands, Spain, Norway, Italy, and Canada, all fell under fire by the Israeli army. This is a big story today. Representatives of some Arab nations were amongst the delegation, too. The IDF says the European diplomatic delegation deviated from the agreed-upon route and entered an area that is prohibited from entry. Footage captures the first few moments of when the IDF fired upon the European delegation in Jenin, West Bank. Pope has called for the end of food blockade on Gaza without mentioning Israel, which is actually blocking the aid. Other people have done posts on this. This is, you ask the people who are pro-Hamas, nothing's getting through. If you ask the Israelis, they've got it broken down to the calorie. Literally, I've read a post where this guy broke it down where they've put enough food in there since October 7th, 2022 that 250 days straight, every single person in Gaza was supposedly gotten a 2,000 calorie, 3 meal a day aid. So you believe what you want to believe. Both sides are saying that, their side is correct. Pro-Hamas, they're sitting there starving and they're turned into bones. Ask the Israelis, and it's a 7-course meal. So you believe what you want to believe. Pope calls for an end to the food blockade on Gaza without mentioning Israel, which is actually blocking it. We just went through that one. Gaza Strip increasingly worryingly painful. Renew my heartfelt appeal to allow the entry of dignified humanitarian aid and to bring an end to the hostilities whose heart-rending price is borne by children and elderly and the sick. U.S. formally accepts Qatar's 747 jet gift from Trump. Military to urgently upgrade it as new Air Force One, according to defense spokesperson. President Trump has criticized South African President Ramaphosa of mass killings of white farmers and showed him pictures. Trump, these are burial sites, over 1,000 of white farmers. Both sides of the road you have crosses. Ramaphosa said, I would like to know where that is. It's in South Africa. President Trump played a video to South African president Ramaphosa showing politician Julius Malema calling for the killing of white farmers. Benjamin Netanyahu, during a press conference, says we are working to designate Qatar as an enemy state. Qatar aids Hamas, and I have repeatedly attacked it. I instructed my media advisors to attack Qatar. We are committed to achieving all the war goals in Gaza, and the work is not yet over. There are 20 living prisoners and 38 bodies, and we still work to recover them all. We have dealt with Houthis' heavy blows, but we have not had our final word yet. I spoke with Trump 10 days ago. He told me, I have an absolute commitment to you and the state of Israel. The president also told me this week that all reports of a crisis in relations are fake. A few days ago, I spoke with Vice President Vance, and he told me, don't believe fake news, it's all spin. Benjamin Netanyahu said that at the press conference. We are working to prevent Iran from enriching uranium, and we maintain our right to defend ourselves. All areas of the Gaza Strip will be rendered under our control. We changed the face of the Middle East, limited Hezbollah capabilities, toppled the Assad regime, and shattered the axis of evil led by Iran. We hold the Biden administration responsible for our inability to achieve absolute victory in Gaza due to the arms export ban to Israel. Trump's Gazans displacement plan is genius. It could change the face of the Middle East. UK inflation hits 15-month high as utility bills soar. China says U.S. Golden Dome plan undermines global stability. China conducted drills near Taiwan on Li's 1 year in office. It's the president. Bloomberg Financial Markets Data Service says it was hit by an outage. Kremlin says Trump's Golden Dome plan, United States sovereign matter, but contact with Russia is necessary. Yes, it is. All right. Hold on. Sorry. Israel Supreme Court rules security chief sacking is unlawful. They got rid of the guy from the Shin Bet, and the court stepped in and said, nope, can't do that. Bitcoin is at $109,000, and it is still rising. Holy Lord. Narrow is the way, and few who find it keep pressing on, brother. We appreciate it. You praying for you and your precious family. I really, really can't thank you enough. You know, that's the thing. This isn't like, when I say that stuff, I don't care about money. Like, I really appreciate this tip. Have no, you know, make no, like I'm taken aback by it. So I really appreciate it. I want views. I want the word to get out. I want people to know just how precarious things are. That's what I want. They really are. Bitcoin is topped $110,000. That's a problem. Your money's in trouble. Israel is going to attack Iran at some point. It's going to set the Middle East on fire. That's inevitable. Maybe I'll be wrong, but probably not. I want people to know this stuff. That's all I care about. So I really care about my subs, but really, that was really, really cool for you to do that. Thank you so much. Bitcoin topped $109,000. Google testing ads in new AI search mode. Google's really worried because everybody's using AI for everything now, and Google has been kind of iced out, and so now they're trying to get it back by getting people to use their AI and everything else. Gemini, I think is what it's called. Portugal, Spain, France, and Italy summoned Israeli ambassadors on West Bank warning shots. Fifth round of Iran-U.S. talks to take place Friday in Rome, according to mediators. Can you explain to Americans why it's appropriate to welcome white Afrikaners here, according to a reporter? Trump says to that person, this is a group, NBC, that is truly fake news. We've had tremendous complaints about Africa, and that's what we're going to be discussing today. Ramaphosa calls for the reset in White House meeting with Trump. Netanyahu says Israel will control all of Gaza by the end of the offensive. President Trump on India and Pakistan. If you take a look at what we just did with Pakistan and India, we settled that whole thing. And I think I settled it through trade. We're doing a big deal with India. We're doing a big deal with Pakistan. Somebody had to be with the last one to shoot. But the shooting was getting worse and worse. Pakistan has some excellent people and really good leaders, and India is my friend. Modi is my friend. Defense Ministry's Coordinator of Government Activities in the Territories, or COGAT, announced the 100 trucks carrying humanitarian aid entered the Gaza Strip today. Israel resumed aid deliveries on Gaza on Monday after a pause since March 2nd. COGAT says the aid delivery comes following the recommendation of professional IDF officials and in accordance with the directive of the political echelon. Today's trucks included flour, baby food, and medical equipment, COGAT said. Aid underwent an inspection first by Israeli authorities before entering Gaza via the Karem Shalom crossing. On May 20th, 2025, Russian Ministry of Defense announced that at least 70 Ukrainian soldiers, including 20 military instructors, were killed in a missile strike on a training camp in the city of Sumy, Ukraine. U.S. Air Force successfully conducted a test launch of an unarmed Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missile from Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. According to Reuters, Iran has rejected the U.S. proposal without offering any counter-proposal. This is, again, why I think they're going to get attacked. President Trump has made it clear Iran will not be allowed to obtain nuclear weapons. The regime now faces a choice: diplomatic resolution or severe consequences. Countries that oppose the Dutch proposal to reconsider the association agreement, which anchors the relations between the European Union and Israel: Germany, Hungary, Italy, Czech Republic, Croatia, Lithuania, Cyprus, Greece, and Bulgaria. Hamas officials told the newspaper Asharq al-Assad Mohammed Sinwar was killed in the Israeli attack last week. According to sources, Hamas informed his family that he was killed in an attack 2 days ago. So it's pretty much a done deal. IDF earlier today, IDF struck and eliminated a commander in Hezbollah's Radwan forces in the area of Yatar in southern Lebanon. Turkey and Israel have reached understandings regarding the coordination of their military activities in Syria with the aim of preventing friction between the forces. Israel has stuck to its position that southern Syria will remain demilitarized. U.S. Secretary of State Rubio says Israel has made it clear that it reserves the right to act to prevent Iran from going nuclear. I don't think this is a mystery. President Trump, during a joint press conference with the president of South Africa, don't expect anything to come of the lawsuit against Israel at the Hague court. Israel is making preparations to swiftly strike Iran's nuclear facilities if negotiations between the U.S. and Iran collapse, according to Axios. China is set to provide the World Health Organization with an additional $500 million in funding over the next 5 years. Democratic Representative Jerry Connolly of Virginia has died at the age of 75. Biden administration officials were aware of possible heart-related risks, including myocarditis, lead to the Rona jab, but postponed public warnings and minimized the concerns. There's been a lot of things coming out today on warnings and things being placed on labels after new information, and information we all are now understanding is true, that it's not going to really bode well for people wanting to take these jabs. So, should have happened a while ago, but it's happening now, and I'll tell you what, if you made the choices I made, you were more than likely pretty smart. Federal judge blocks President Trump's attempt to remove 2 Democratic members from the Privacy Oversight Board. ABC News reports that Trump's allegation of genocide against white farmers in South Africa is unsubstantiated. Okay, so nothing's happening over in Africa, South Africa. It's total lies, unsubstantiated. Even though you have full-on videos of guys saying kill people, hey, it's not happening. Thank you, ABC News. You probably wonder why nobody watches you anymore. U.S. Army air defense systems deployed to the Arctic and Africa for the first time during live fire exercises. Trump's gold card website is now allowing people to buy U.S. permanent residency for $5 million and will launch within a week, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick has stated. India is experiencing a rise in Rona cases across multiple states, including Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Gujarat, prompting health authorities to increase monitoring and precautionary measures, Times of India has reported. Prime Minister Netanyahu says Israel is ready to end the war in Gaza if these conditions are met. Number 1, all hostages are freed. Number 2, Hamas disarms. Number 3, Hamas leaders go into exile. Number 4, Gaza is fully demilitarized. A clear and reasonable position from Israel. Hamas responds to Netanyahu, we will not surrender the weapons of the resistance and completely reject any demand to expel our leadership from Gaza. Netanyahu says Iran remains a serious threat to Israel. We are coordinating with the United States. They can reach an agreement that will prevent Iran from enriching uranium. If that is achieved, we will, of course, welcome it. FDA has ordered Pfizer and Moderna to update their warning labels on the Ronagivity to include the risk of heart-related injuries, primarily affecting teenage boys and young men. Just think back to 4 years ago and where we were. No comment. Germany begins to detain right-wing extremist children. 4 children and an 18-year-old are accused of planning attacks on refugees and politically dissidents. 14-year-old Ben Maxim H. arrested on Wednesday, along with Jerome M., Lenny M., both 15, Benjamin H., 16, and Jason R., 18. German police claim all 5 are suspected of membership in or support of a domestic right-wing terrorist organization called the Last Wave of Defense. Justice Minister Stephanie Hubig of the leftist SPD party called the arrest an alarm signal, highlighting the shocking involvement of minors in right-wing extremist terror. Again, no comment. China has pledged to give $500 million to the WHO, setting Beijing up to become the group's most powerful member country. CDC and FDA officials were well aware of the risk of myocarditis and following mRNA injections and took steps to downplay them, scathing Senate report has stated. Yedioth Ahronoth, citing a source in Israeli Foreign Ministry, says we are facing a real tsunami and it will only get worse. This is the worst situation we've ever been in. The world is not with us. Since November 2023, the world has seen nothing but dead Palestinian children and destroyed homes. Israel offers no solutions or plan for the day after, only death and destruction. A silent boycott is already happening. It will widen and intensify. We must not underestimate its threat. No one will want to be associated with Israel. And this is why I think we're getting close to a bit of an attack. British Environment Secretary says the situation in Gaza is unbearable and Netanyahu's government is making it worse. Hostilities must stop. We can no longer tolerate the assault on Gaza. Our government will take necessary steps to end the hostilities. Very interesting. Russia is reportedly using kamikaze drones that autonomously select and strike targets. That's called artificial intelligence, folks. They operate without GPS, using cameras and computer vision, can hit targets up to 100 kilometers from the front line, don't distinguish between military and civilian targets, run on gasoline, increasing range, decide on their own when and where to strike. Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov, there will be no more truce, and then we will see in the process of settlement with Ukraine. Britain is pledging more than $5 million in new aid to Gaza. Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov says Europe is forcing us to confront it because of the continued flow of weapons to Ukraine. Israel is preparing to strike Iran's nuclear sites if U.S.-Iran talks fail, according to two Israeli sources. Israeli intelligence now believes a deal is unlikely, prompting urgent military planning. The IDF has held exercises. One source said the strike window may close soon. Netanyahu reportedly awaits Trump's frustration with negotiations to seek approval. The strike, if ordered, would be a multi-day operation, not a single hit. U.S. officials are concerned Israel could act without Trump's green light. Talks resume Friday in Rome, but disagreements over enrichment remain a key obstacle, according to Axios. Israel preparing to strike Iran fast if Trump's nuclear talks break down, according to Axios. Israel making preparations swiftly strike their nuclear facilities. Negotiations between the U.S. and Iran collapse if they do. Two Israeli sources of knowledge said to Axios, the Israeli intelligence community has shifted just in the past few days from believing a nuclear deal was close to thinking talks could soon break down, the sources say. One source said the Israeli military thinks its operational window to conduct a successful strike could close soon to Israel, so Israel will have to move fast if talks fail. Source declined to say why the military believes a strike would be less effective later. Both sources confirmed CNN report that the Israeli Defense Forces have been conducting exercises and other preparations for a possible strike in Iran. There were a lot of training, and the U.S. military sees everything and understands Israel is preparing, one person said. Bibi is waiting for the nuclear talks to collapse, and for the moment, Trump will be disappointed about the negotiations and open to giving him the go-ahead, an Israeli source added, using a nickname for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And finally, Bitcoin has surpassed, for the first time in history, $110,000. Things are not going good. Congratulations if you own a Bitcoin. I bet most of you don't. We're getting close. I wouldn't put that headline if I didn't think that we're very close to the just everything collapsing and the gauntlet being just thrown down. So, if I were you, I'd act accordingly. Okay, believe me or not, I don't know, whatever. I tend to, well, you get the point. I really want to thank the person. Let me see. That is Mrs. Lori Mosley. Thank you so much for your huge tip. That was really, really cool. Again, I'm not here because I'm looking to make a payday or whatever. I do side hustles, but I want people to know this information. I do think there is sincerely an Iran attack soon. So if I get it out there, if you go back, let's get real talk. If you go back to this channel, when it was called Preparedness Now, in the little YouTube like picture thing up top, it had a picture of Paul Revere. That's all I'm trying to do with your information. Just trying to let you know things ahead of everyone else. Now, I know if you're here and listening, you're already sold and you're probably helping me out in some way, shape, or form. And I appreciate that. If you could tell people about this, I'd really like it. It would help. I could show you graphs and charts to give us all the information. And I mean, it is a cliff when 2025, somewhere around January 21st, 2025, strangely enough, and the cliff gets hit. So your support, your views, your likes, your shares, all of it are really important and they go a long way. Your membership, like Winning Streak and Water Tiger, are really important and go a long way. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so yeah, I think Iran's going to get struck by Israel pretty soon. And I hope I'm wrong. I really do. We're going to take it on over to PrepperNow. We're going to do a little bit. Hit the like button, do the share thing. Check out the other links in the description. Join us on other platforms where we are growing. Sometimes we're glowing. And we love having you here. I love this community. I got the smartest subscribers on YouTube. And I appreciate you. Thanks for coming here. God bless and have a great night.